Welcome to the next edition in our Town Hall series. Today we're going to take a deeper dive into the Board of Health Department. My name is Sandy Johnston. I'm the Director of Communications, and I have the pleasure of sitting here with Derek Kwok and introducing him to you as our new Board of Health Director. Welcome, Derek.
Thanks, Sandy. It's been a pleasure working for this town and its community since starting here last August.
We enjoy having you part of our team. You add such a great essence to our team.
Thanks.
So we're going to look a little bit deeper, as we said, into the functions of your department. Can you give us a general overview of what your team does?
Sure. Our biggest goal is to promote and protect the health and wellness of anyone who comes to Medway to live here, play here, or work here. This is done through a number of initiatives, such as disease surveillance and follow-up, promoting health policies and programs for health education, along with permitting and inspecting a number of businesses and activities in Medway. These businesses are regulated through local or state policies and regulations, and our department is responsible for enforcing these and educating business owners on these regulations.
Okay, so you mentioned state regulations, and then I know that there are probably Medway-specific regulations. Can you tell the community a little bit more about how those differentiate?
Sure, yeah. So the state has their own regulations for certain aspects, and that's statewide regulations enforced by all local health departments throughout Massachusetts. These regulations could be such as Title V and housing regulations, and then Medway or local communities can enact their own regulations, such as body art or tattoo establishments, or keeping of animals in our community. We can adopt regulations to oversee that as well.
Okay, so those are great examples. Let's see. Can you tell us a little bit about the Board of Health Commission or committee?
Yeah, the Board of Health.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we have a 5-member board. We try and meet twice a month, usually the first and third Mondays of each month. During these meetings, we'll review new permit applications, any requests from business owners or community members, and we also look to sometimes adopt or revise our current regulations, Medway specific.
Okay, so I took a look at, because we were preparing for this interview, and I wasn't really sure. I'd never really participated in one of your meetings, so I looked at one of the agendas. It seems pretty heavy on like Title V's and any kind of, residence requests. Is that correct?
Yeah. So a lot of my job responsibility is reviewing new systems or repairs for Title V systems that are going serving dwellings or businesses, and a lot of those go in front of the board to be approved during their meetings or
makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just any permit in general.
And so I know, like, just chatting with you since you've been here in August, you came from some bigger cities, Framingham specifically, and Newton. Can you tell a little bit about your experience there working for a bigger city and how that compares, or maybe why you chose the town of Medway, which seems to be much smaller?
Sure, yeah. So previously I worked for the city of Newton and Framingham. My job responsibilities were very similar to as in those two communities, overseeing a lot of the same establishments, such as food establishments, public and semi-public pools, body art facilities, and general complaints that we receive. Those communities have a much larger scale. Medway has maybe a little over 50 food establishments, where Newton or Framingham might have over 500. So I was working on a team of inspectors where we would often rotate throughout the city and switch up sections, so you're kind of getting a new district, meeting new business owners. So that was part of the reason why I wanted to come to Medway. I wanted to be in a location where you got to know the business owners and you weren't going to be switched to a new section. So you can kind of establish a relationship with them and establish a good relationship with them, so you both can work to protect public health in the town.
And yesterday when we were talking, I kind of found it interesting how one of the reasons why you wanted to come to a smaller town was because you had like a team of inspectors, so you would switch.
Yeah.
And then you were always not really told the truth oftentimes, or you weren't sure what was being told the truth. I found that interesting.
Yeah.
Like, because in Medway, you can establish a relationship. You know what you've told.
Exactly.
You can go back on your notes or your words, whereas in a larger community, you're kind of like,
Yeah, oftentimes
maybe
business
being
owners will
told.
say, oh, well, this inspector told me this, or
Yeah.
this inspector told me that, where,
I never really thought about that
Yeah.
for a larger.
but yeah,
Municipality.
in Medway, it's nice where it's kind of just me inspecting all the establishments, and there's not going to be that back
Mm-hmm.
and forth. But the business owners of Medway have been great, and they've wanted to comply so far, which has been fantastic. So I
And
couldn't
you
be
earn
more
that
happy with
mutual
that.
respect.
Exactly,
So that's,
yeah. And
yeah,
it's
beneficial.
more about education too. Oftentimes with businesses, there's a lot of turnover. So when I do inspections, I try and focus in on kind of fully explaining what the requirements are, and not only that, but what the public health rationale is behind them as well. Because I think once they get educated on that, they're more prone to kind of
Yeah, that sounds really
do
important.
those healthy behaviors.
Yeah. So with all of that said, I'm sure in Newton and Framingham, you had to earn multiple certifications that I'm sure you're bringing with you with your experience, which
Yeah.
benefits Medway. But can you just tell us a little bit more about those kind of details about
Sure.
the certifications?
Yeah, during my past jobs, I've picked up quite a few certifications. I'm a registered environmental health specialist, registered sanitarian, a certified pool operator, certified food protection manager. I'm a lead determinator. I'm a Title V system inspection.
So your
inspector,
resume must be like
Title
for
V
3 pages.
And Title V soil evaluator, to name a couple, but yes.
That's a
Thank you.
lot of schooling right there.
Yeah.
So with all of that said, like there's no way you can possibly do all of this on your own. So can you tell us a little bit about your team?
Sure, yeah, I have a great team. I have an admin staff, Kelly. She's fantastic. She helps me out with a number of things.
Just a ball of energy, that one.
Exactly, yeah, she keeps it light, which
Yeah.
is great. But yeah, she helps me out with all the permitting and picking up phone calls throughout the day, and kind of just keeping the office running smoothly while I'm out at inspections, and also while I'm in the office as well. So she's a huge help. Also, we have a contract with Public Health Nursing Services. We currently have a contract with the Natick Walpole VNA. They've been great with the disease surveillance side of the department. So they kind of do all the outreach for communicable diseases and similar activities. But it has been a pleasure working with them as well.
What would be an example of a communicable disease
So-
that you'd work with them on? Like,
Yeah, so I
Here
mean,
in Medway.
maybe they get a notified of a disease that could be foodborne, such as Campylobacter. They would kind of do outreach, and if it was believed to be foodborne, they would do a food history with that individual, where they would go back within the incubation period of that disease and see if they ate at any restaurants in town or other restaurants in other towns, and that would be tagged and given to the inspector for a foodborne illness follow-up
oh,
if
that's
needed.
interesting.
Yeah, but they also do other disease surveillance, such as, for instance, COVID, you know what I mean, with the follow-up, with the guidance and all
Yeah.
that for isolation and that kind
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff as
let's
well.
not go back there.
Yeah.
So can you just give an example of what your day-to-day looks like?
Sure, yeah, I mean,
Like today?
yeah. So
Crazy.
What I love about my job is that I can plan for what my day is going to look like, but it can switch so fast. So what a day normally starts with, I'll come in the office, listen to voicemails that I've received that night, respond to emails, respond to calls, and then I would prioritize my day. So if I'm getting a complaint from a resident, I would prioritize that over a routine food inspection or something like that. But yeah, I would often kind of do respond to complaints, and also
Those are your priority.
yeah, exactly. That would be a priority, and then after that, like do some inspections. So I could do a food inspection one day, or I could be doing a site evaluation for a new Title V system at a property. And also a large part of my day is reviewing plans. So for new businesses that we permit, we would review kind of floor plans, make sure there's proper certifications for staff, that kind of stuff. And similar to Title V, kind of reviewing those plans to make sure it meets our regulations.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot on your plate. I never, honestly, doing the research, going through your website, talking to you, never really understood everything that the Board of Health Director was involved in. So I learned a lot, and I'm hoping the community learned a lot by us sitting down together and talking it through.
Yeah.
So thank you, Derek, for sitting down with me. And I wanted to thank everybody for listening. Next up in our Town Hall series, we're going to talk to Michael Boynton, the town manager, learn all about his office and his staff, so that'll be exciting. And my name is Sandy Johnston, Director of Communications, and I look forward to seeing you around town.